So because of like hopping on what your friends are enjoying, and it got you to where you are right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd already checked the box that said I will bring my own mouse to the event. Like I was fully ready to play. And then they were like, surprise, casting role available. We want you to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm a caster now. In Rotterdam, I felt so comfortable on stage and I felt so at home that I would honestly be so down to be offered a casting job in a game that I've never even played before.
Alright lads, welcome back to Inside MC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. And sadly for the both of us, we're both British, and after yesterday's results we're a little bit, I don't know about you, Jvckk, hello, but I'm still a little bit about the results.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy we got as far as we did, but it still doesn't, stop it from hurting.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like, we won't get to do much about this because we're more so interviewing you, so I don't want it to become just a football podcast, but like I think Southgate did a great job of getting us to the final, but we were against pretty easy teams and we played very boring football. I thought we was going to get battered by Spain, to be fair, so I'm quite happy with I know we lost, but I'm happy with that we didn't get battered by as much as I thought we were going to.
Oh, it could have been so much worse, yeah. And I do think that we were gifted a golden run, and yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't think anyone's surprised, to be honest.
You had a what's it called again, where like you take teams out of a hat? Is there a specific name?
Sweepstake, yeah, sweepstake.
How did that end up going for you in the end?
Yeah, so me and a bunch of friends, there was a good 16 of us, I want to say, split all the 24 teams amongst us. And if you got a top 8 team, you were only given that team. And if you got one of the bottom 16, you ended up getting 2, just to make things a little bit more interesting. And I got Turkey and Georgia, which honestly, they pleasantly surprised me. They both made it out of the groups, which nice. And we did have some like bonus goals. So it's not just like a winner takes all kind of thing. It was like there's a team that gets the most yellow cards will win some money, which ended up being Turkey, I believe. So I made some money on that.
Jeez,
yeah, just little things like that. Best goal of the tournament, which I don't know if that's been decided yet or not, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Turkey ended up getting me some money in the end. I'm quite surprised by that.
Did Georgia win you? I swear Georgia won you something as well for making it to the
Georgia. Yeah, they got me because they made it to the top 16 and they were considered a bottom 8 team. We decided that whichever bottom 8 team did the best would also win some money, which Georgia did as well. So they both came through for me.
All things considered, you actually got pretty lucky with the choices.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think I'd be happy when I first got drew them, but yeah, honestly, maybe got the best 2 teams other than the winner.
Before we get into talking about the about you more and about everything that we're going to speak about, I always like to give the introduction for you to let us know who you are. I mean, we kind of touched on the football there, so we know you're a football fan. However, how are you? Who are you? What do you do? And if you have a fun fact for us today.
Oh, fun fact! I'll think of one. Well, I'm Jvckk. I'm from the UK. I mostly stream. I've definitely streamed less nowadays, but I've always kind of just been in the Minecraft and variety Minecraft adjacent kind of sphere. I've been around for a long time. We're talking, a good 13 years or so. So I've always been around in the scene and been friends with people mostly. Doing content myself for 6 years now, full time, and that is primarily on Twitch where I stream, mostly variety, but dabble in Minecraft here and there.
Oh, you're actually like full on full time.
Oh yeah, I've been full time for a long time. But like I said, it's definitely on the downward trajectory. Times are tough on Twitch nowadays. It's not like it used to be.
That's just more reason to get back on the YouTube grind, right? I mean, you uploaded a video a month ago, but other than that, the videos are very far in between.
Yeah, I try with the YouTube. I'd love to make more YouTube videos, but I always just very critical of myself when it comes to YouTube. And I think that any idea I have is probably not worth someone's time. Unless it's like a real passion project for me, which have been my last couple of videos where I'm like, I don't care if anyone likes this or not. I'm gonna like rewatch this video myself like so many times.
I agree with that based on the whole, like, with the podcast, for example, it doesn't do crazy reviews, but I enjoy it. I'm also, I guess, in a fortunate position. I work a full-time job and I've just been able to, probably not in the healthiest of ways, but balance the both. So
yeah, I see that. Like, something just to supplement the passion project. I respect that.
But with it being a full-time gig, it kind of has to be, when you upload a YouTube video, it has to be kind of, it's not even like the UK is going to do well or not do well. It's more so, yeah, it has to kind of have an impact, or like a positive impact for your time, because then that can be used elsewhere within like editing for other people or streaming or just anything related to something that could carry on making it easier to be full-time, if that makes any sense.
Honestly, that's why I think I've streamed less over the last couple of years, just because streaming takes a lot of time. I'm not someone that streams 12 hours a day kind of thing, but I was streaming quite a lot, and sometimes you'll do, a 4 to 6 hour stream, maybe even longer if you're really into it, and you'll make, get like 3 subs, and it's like $7.50 or whatever it is. It's not very time efficient. Whereas, as you said, you could have been spending that time editing a YouTube video and get like a flat rate for it, guaranteed. It's rolling dice when you stream, and it's just quite risky.
Or you can make money in other ways, such as winning $10,000 playing Stardew Valley.
Yeah, the Twitch rivals have been very kind to me over the last years as well. Anytime streaming has kind of been a bit quiet, there's by some miracle been a Twitch rivals that will come around and make me a decent amount of money that keep me afloat. So I've definitely been lucky along the way. And the most recent one was a Stardew Valley Twitch rivals, which if anyone knows Stardew Valley, you're probably thinking, how is that played competitively? But guess you'll have to watch my YouTube video. I'll give you a brief overview of it. You know, there's certain goals in the game, and you get to decide which goals you're going to go for, and each goal has kind of like a bounty on it, and whichever team gets most goals completed wins the most money. That's basically how it goes.
A possible spoiler alert here, so just in case you want to go and watch the video. I mean, you can always go watch the video and come back to the podcast, just timestamp what minute you're at. But just for me here, just because obviously I can't go and watch the video right now. I mean, I've watched it, but you get the idea. Did you outright win it, or was it like split? Like, did you win the most amount of money you compared to the other people?
It was impossible to win every single goal. We definitely earned more than we set out, and I'll say that I think it was a $15,000 prize pool, I want to say, and I believe we won something like 7.5k, and I think second was like less than 2k. So it was pretty significant gap between first and second. We won the most money, we won the most objectives, so I guess you could call us the winner.
You walked away happier than you walked into it. There you go.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And slightly richer.
Yeah, a little bit.
You do like variety content. I know when I did the guest announcement, I put Minecraft content, and then you said variety, and I was like, oh, you actually are a variety streamer more so. Was that kind of deal there? Why do you enjoy variety more? Is it just because Minecraft's gotten a bit stale over the years to you, and not like the game itself, just from playing it so much, or do you just enjoy switching things up?
Honestly, I think it's a personality type thing. I'm always someone that will get really like obsessed with one thing for a short amount of time, and then I'll jump to a different thing. Whether it's a game I'm playing on stream, a game I'm playing off stream, whether it's a hobby that I'm into, whether it's language learning, whether it's learning how to knit, whether it's solving a Rubik's Cube. Like I get super like obsessed with certain things for very small windows, and I just jump from thing to thing. And I think that creating content and streaming is like no different. I just get bored of the game and I'll go to the next thing.
What's your favorite like period of that? What's the favorite kind of like, what would be the word for it? Like
era. Yeah,
there we go. What's your favorite era throughout the years?
Honestly, I talk about this a lot. Like I've had so many different eras on stream, and my chatters like to talk about their favorites too, because some of them have been around for the full 6 years, some of them have been around for 3 weeks. I think that I don't know if I have a favorite. I think that my most popular one was Animal Crossing, which might surprise some people, but it was, right at the start of lockdown, as everyone else's peak was, and I was playing Animal Crossing New Horizons because it was brand new, and I was doing something called villager hunting, which there are like, I don't remember the exact number, but I want to say around 300, maybe even close to 400 villages in the game, and I would to these islands, which are randomly generated, and each island has a random villager, and I would roll that every single time until I had randomly seen all 392 villages, or whatever it is. And it took months, but I was going live and I had like over 300 viewers with no host back then, which I cannot come close to nowadays. But that was definitely my peak in terms of best forming. It was so much fun too. And honestly, the base content of it was very repetitive, but it was just a nice kind of background thing where I kind of just talked the whole time, and people just vibed in the chat. That was basically it. It was basically a just chatting stream, but I had something going on in the background on repeat.
I think, at least from the time I've watched you, which I sadly not very long. I only found out about you recently as of this year, which I mean kind of just falls underneath my whole gig of only being in this kind of content creation scene since last April. So I kind of get away with it on that basis. But I'd say that I think you specifically have grown a lot, or like you do very well based on personality as opposed to content. I'm not saying your content is bad in any sense. Like when you stream, it's good. I just mean you're more of like what I want to be, which is a personality streamer, and people come back for instance, you said there like a lot of people have come and gone, but then there's a lot of people who have stayed and watched through every single era, and a lot of people only watch content they enjoy or games they enjoy, but you've been able to keep people watching because it's you, not because of the game you're playing.
Yeah, I think that's always been the goal. Not that whatever I do, it has some kind of like big master plan behind it, but it has always been the vibe. And I think that's because, as I said, I've had friends who are content creators for a very long time now, and they have always kind of hammered home the known fact that it is a lot easier to keep people watching if they're there for you rather than your game. I'd say that it's easier to grow if you pick one game. It's definitely been harder to grow as a variety streamer. If I had just picked one game and stuck with it, I'd probably be a lot bigger of a streamer than I am now. But at the same time, I probably would have got burnt out and quit it by now. So there's pros and cons to it all. Harder to grow, but it is definitely a more secure audience that you have long term, and it will keep you going for longer as well. You won't burn out as easy.
I don't know if this answer will be possible, but you said that you didn't have like a favorite era. Is there and if it's the Animal Crossing one, then so be it. But is there a most memorable era? Like whenever you think back to like what came to mind there when I said it, was there anything or no?
Honestly, a lot went through my head. I think that the one that kind of kickstarted it all was the Sims era. I actually got quite a big boost off playing The Sims 4, and that's because I very quickly made friends with like probably the most popular Simmer there is, Lil Simsy, and we quickly became friends, and she was instantly helping me stream The Sims, and we'd stream together, and she would tweet out that I'm live, she put it in her Discord and stuff, and I'd instantly have like hundreds of viewers, and it was that boost that got me Twitch partner in the first place. A lot of my viewers, even now, as I said, 6 years later, will still reminisce and be like, you know, I found you through Lil Simsy. Lil Simsy raided you 6 years ago, and I'm still here. So that definitely was like the catalyst for it all. I think that's, you know, the one that came to mind, the one that flashed to my, how do I word this?
Just flashed in your brain when I said the word.
Yeah, that's the one that came to mind. So I think I got to go with that one, I guess.
I think a lot of people, and you've kind of shown it there, and I'm sure like, and Lil Simsy is one of the biggest streamers, but when people say, oh, I've been here since that raid, I think people don't appreciate raids enough on Twitch. Like I see sometimes people like, oh, thank you for the raid, and then they just brush it off and like continue just doing what they're doing. And like I understand that's the way to welcome a raid, but I feel like I think a lot of people don't capitalize on that. Like even if it's like a 2-person raid, they were like I've seen some people ignore 2 people raids, and it's like those 2 viewers who have just been bought to could become full-time viewers. Is like, I mean, you showed it there, people have still been watching you 6 years later. So I think people need to kind of realize more that raids are actually very beneficial to you.
Oh, absolutely. And if you want to be, you know, more of a numbers person and, you know, give it more of a business view on things, which I don't typically like to do, but even if we look at it numbers wise, some of my biggest donators that have made me be able to be full-time as long as I have came from a raid one, you know, or they were gifted a sub at random and Twitch algorithm decided that it would go to this one viewer because they share similar audiences or whatever, right? And that person then goes on to gift me over 1,000 subs. You know what I mean? Like,
Jeez, okay.
it can happen with one person. It can start with just one, you know?
Have you ever had like a story game era, like of where you play, like for instance, The Walking Dead is my favorite story game. Have you ever played that on stream or not?
Honestly, I've been kind of off by story games, especially on stream, because I feel like people missed episode 1. They are just never going to tune back in. So I've been kind of scared to do them. I've also never been much of a story game player myself, like even if we're talking off stream. I used to watch my brothers play video games growing up that were more story games, but never been too inclined myself, to be honest.
I played The Walking Dead off like before I kind of started doing content creation, and I still kind of regret it to this day because like I'd love to restream it, but my brain just remembers everything that happened. It's kind of rough because it's my favorite game. I'm like I can't stream it because I just can't pretend I'm interested in it when I know exactly what's going to happen next.
I've heard great things of the Walking Dead game, and I know that Life of Strange is another like insanely popular one. I know that my friend Jojo is doing a playthrough of that at the moment on stream, and she somehow has not seen spoilers over the years. It's quite an old game now, but she's doing her, you know, first playthrough on stream, and that game actually has like such a big following that even though it's years old by now, and you know you've seen the story, you've seen everyone play it through, you know what's going to happen, people still love watching people play that game for the first time.
That's another one that I've played as well off camera, so I just once again can't lie, sadly.
Gotcha.
Kind of talking or getting into like more of your beginning with content creation. I pronounced it right when I said Jvckk, right? Is that how you say it?
Yes. Yeah, people say Jvckk is also fine. There's a couple people that say it differently, but Jvckk is what I would say is correct, yeah.
I'm assuming Jack is your real name. A lot of people kind of have names.
No
I'm like,
name,
oh crap, it's not your real name. But Jack is.
No, not a Jacksepticeye kind of moment.
What's the deal with the Jvckk then? Is there any story behind it? Is there a reason for the double K? What's the lore?
So back in the day, people used to put like an X instead of an A typically in their usernames, and that is what mine started as. It was a JXCK, and I was like, everyone's doing this. This is back in 2010, 2011, I want to say. And I was like, I want to be a little different, you know. I'm gonna put a V in there instead. And I think at the time I had a username that was like JXCKK because the 4-letter version was taken. So I had already had the double K. Also because some platforms require you to have like at least a 5-letter username for some reason. So it was already existing as JXCKK, and then I just switched the X to a V at some point, and it's been my username for like over 13 years now. So I just have not changed it.
On Minecraft, your original name was Jvckk with a V. Well, instead of an A, it was a V, and then there was an underscore. And now you changed it to Jvckk Bears, I believe.
Yeah, so way back when I did have, I'm so sure I had the Minecraft username, Jvckk with 2Ks. No, that's another one of those platforms. I'm so sure there was a period that Minecraft did not allow usernames under 6. So that's why I had to put the underscore back in the day. And then at some point that has changed. And there is someone that has the username Jvckk with 2Ks, like my username. And like they've been in my Twitch chat before, they've been in JoJo's chat before.
Oh my God.
I know that they play on MCC Island. Like I know that they are like an active player. And I don't know how they got that username or when that switchover happened, but yeah, they're an active player. They won't give me the name. It's not like I've asked to buy it or anything. It's their name. I guess they've taken it now.
Anyways,
but yeah, I'm like, and then Jvckk Bears, I don't know. I've been wanting to change my username for a while. I like having little alt names. Way back in the day playing Call of Duty. I don't know if you were an old Xbox player back in the day.
I am, yeah. So it's 360 Modern Warfare 3.
So do you remember when they would do like free Xbox Live weekends?
Yes, I do.
So me and my friends would just always make brand new accounts for those weekends, and we'd make some dumb name and play for the weekend for free and just level up and stuff. And I've always liked having like alt account, and my most recent alt alias has been Sleepy Bears whenever I'm playing like Overwatch and stuff. Or if, Jvckk is taken, or if I'm playing a game where I don't want to be Jvckk, I'll be Sleepy Bears instead. So I was like, I want a new name. I want a new Minecraft account. I don't like the underscore. I don't like the capital J anymore. And I was like, just combine the two things. I'll go Jvckk Bears.
Where's Sleepy Bears come from then? Is that just?
I don't know. Bears? It just sounds fun. Yeah, bears are cute. Cool name, Sleepy Bears. It's, I like saying things followed by bears at the end. I think it originally comes from Austin Powers, but like Hungry Bears, Sleepy Bears. It's just a little cute play name, I guess.
When you said you were a Call of Duty kid then?
Oh, absolutely. That's where I got my start for sure.
What are some of your favorite Call of Duties? Because this is a conversation I can have. I love Call of Duty. There's no one really ever played it from this community.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how many of your viewers will be COD heads, so I don't know how interested they'll be in this. But yeah, I was back in the montage scene. I've still got friends today that are in and have been in phase and all of that stuff. Like that was my side of Call of Duty. Was the sniping and montage kind of stuff. Yeah.
I've got timestamps, so it's fine. If people don't listen to Call of Duty, they can skip over it. What are your favorite Call of Duties then?
Oh, so yeah, the favorite CODs. COD 4 is where it all began for me. I spent God knows how many hours on COD 4. MW2 is obviously a cult classic. BO2 is the next cult classic, I'd say. I was never much of a Black Ops player. I other than Black Ops 2, which everyone played, of course, I was never much of a Black Ops 1 enjoyer. Black Ops 3 was the beginning of the end for me personally, and I'd say that I'm a rare enjoyer of COD Ghosts. I actually loved COD Ghosts a lot. A lot of people will massively disagree with me for that.
Oh my God! Thank you so much. I love.
Are you another COD Ghost? You're another enjoyer. I love that.
It is apart from MW3, which technically I prestiged on, kind of, is the only game that I bought every single DLC there was to buy, and the only game I ever got max prestige on.
Yeah, I loved Ghosts, to be honest.
I love it. But the thing is, right, as the years went on, right, because I had all the DLCs, it was nearly impossible to queue into a game, like in the later years. It was so sad. But yeah, every single time I tell someone I love Call of Duty Ghosts, I know it wasn't a very popular game. Everyone's like, So it's so nice to talk to another Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling. I know that feeling of being like, it's a rare one. I even prefaced it in my answer. I was like, I had to preface that it's not a popular one, but I do love COD Ghosts.
I know why it's not that popular, but I just Modern Warfare 3 is one of my favorites. I think it's just because my issue was obviously because I was younger, my parents were also always a bit like, because I where my name comes from is from a Rainbow Six Siege clan when I was 16.
Okay.
Or 15 or something along the lines. And even at that age, I wasn't allowed to be on like my Xbox past 8 o'clock at night. Or I could play it, but I wasn't allowed to be on a voice call, right? So with like the earlier Call of Duties, because I was so young, I was able to play them because my brother had it, but I had to share an Xbox 360 with him, and like it was also my dad's account technically, and it was in the front room, so there's like so many different bases to it. So I was kind of at an age where when I got Call of Duty Ghosts, I had my own Xbox and stuff, so I think that's why it's one of my favorites, because it's the only ever Call of Duty I was able to like full on play since the start. I think maybe something about that just resonates in my head. Alright, I just talking to another Call of Duty enjoyer it's a rare occasion, so I had to capitalize on it while I was there. Did you ever
you know who's also a Call of Duty head and someone I've been friends with this day and made back then is Small Beans or Smallish Beans. He was massive in the Call of Duty scene, and that's where I first met him. That's where I first met LD Shadow Lady as well. the UK Call of Duty scene back in the day, 2011-ish, was so tight-knit. There are still massive content creators that were around back then. Jvckk in the Sidemen, Jvckk in the Sidemen. A lot of those guys, like, we all came from this very small UK Call of Duty scene and have spread out into different avenues now. But Call of Duty back then in the UK, very tight knit scene.
Well, I remember like Jvck's like Mohawk montages and everything. Like,
the Tomahawk stuff, yeah, the bullseye and that stuff, yeah.
So I was around to watch it. I just like, I don't know. I guess it's weird because obviously like Jvckk, as much as he was Minecraft, has also kind of gone into like more bigger, well, Sidemen, for example, right? When you say like smallish beans, it's interesting how they go from Call of Duty to them being a Minecraft creator. It's so like, it's cool. It's
That's
just
very
really
polarizing, yeah.
So it's like, how do you go from Call of Duty going? I mean, to be fair, as the years went on, Call of Duty did get a little bit like, I mean, Infinity War was the beginning of the end for me. I wasn't much of a Black Ops player either. Black Ops 2 I loved, but my brother was more Black Ops as opposed to me being Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I can relate to that. But yeah, Joel Smallbeans, he was on the way out by Black Ops 2. He was out quite early, and Lizzie, LD Shadow Lady, was the one that kind of made him play a little bit of Minecraft, try it out and stuff. And it is definitely thanks to Lizzie that Joel jumped ship to Minecraft, and he definitely appreciates that now, looking back.
What about you then? What got you into content creation? And not Minecraft specifically, we'll get into that a little bit later on, but what got you into making content in the first place?
So for Call of Duty, I was actually obsessed with Halo 3 specifically. And I remember playing with my brothers and one of my local friends too. And I grew up in Devon in the UK, which is very old school. It's very old fashioned, and find someone there that played video games was quite difficult back in the day. So finding someone that played Halo, I was instantly like, hooked on that game, and we'd play it a lot together. And after getting into Halo, I remember watching TV one day, and I remember seeing, it might have been on like ESPN or something like that, one of the sports channels. I remember seeing a Halo clip, and I was like, what is that doing on my TV? This is back in like probably 2008, maybe 2007, probably 2008. And I was so confused, and I started learning more about like esports and stuff. Then I was like, how do people even record their footage? I start looking it up on YouTube. I find out about capture cards. I find out about Dazzle DVC 100s. I find out about the EasyCap capture cards. And I asked my mom, I'm like, can I buy one? And I record my gameplay, and I start editing some Halo clips together. So that's what got me into, like, I guess, content creation for the very first time was Halo. And then it was one day, one of my online friends had stopped coming on Halo as much. And I was like, damn, what's my friend up to? Why is he not on Halo anymore? And I saw he was playing Call of Duty 4 all the time. So I jumped on that game and found the montage scene on that game instead. And it's where it went into everything else, really.
So because of, like, hopping on what your friends are enjoying, and it got you to where you are right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Does this story somewhat relate to Minecraft then? Or, like, does the idea relate to Minecraft as well?
The group of friends that it goes into, I guess, does, yeah. Say, yeah, it was my friends that got me into Call of Duty, and then, like I said, from there I met Joel and Lizzie, and those were the ones that jumped ship to Minecraft, and I saw more and more people playing more and more Minecraft and making content on that too, and I dabbled a little tiny bit with Minecraft back in the day. I remember Lizzie was always trying to get me to start a Minecraft channel, but I just didn't care enough about Minecraft at the time. I was still more of a FPS player, and I've always been someone that would never do something purely on like a business decision. It probably would have been a great investment for me to have done it back in the day, but if I didn't feel that passion for it, I was just never going to do it, so I didn't.
What's then one of your favorite moments in Minecraft then? And like, it can be a recent one, it can be something that's happened in the past, or something kind of just resonates in your mind?
Yeah, honestly, it probably is going to be recency bias. Has got to go with the MCC in Rotterdam. I was very lucky to be able to cast the MCC that just took place in TwitchCon Rotterdam, and I don't know if many things will ever be able to top that. That was such an unbelievable feeling, being up on stage, having the crowd so unbelievably loud, like a wall of sound hitting me in the face. It was so much fun.
That was your first casting gig. How did you land something like that? Obviously, you did an amazing job, so I'm very, very glad you did. But like, how did that even come to be?
Thank you, first of all. Appreciate it. I've been trying to get a casting gig under Twitch Rivals, honestly, all of this year so far. I got reached out to by a Twitch Rivals staff member asking if I wanted to be put forward to cast an event right at the start of this year. And I think maybe just because they'd seen me play in a lot of Twitch Rivals before, they reached out to me, and I know they reached out to some of my friends as well. I've always been put forward on shortlists for these events, but never actually accepted yet. And when I heard the MCC was happening in Rotterdam, I knew that one had just taken place in Vegas. I knew that they get casters involved. I knew that the casters were content creators because it was Curry Way and Cara Corvus that did it in Vegas with the help of Fulham as well. And I was like, I know these guys. I know Scott Smajer, the organizer of MCC. That's another story we'll get into, I'm sure. But I've known this guy since 2015. I can drop him a message and tell him that I would love to be considered because, like I said, I've been trying to get some work in this field. It's very difficult to, especially when you got no experience. But it's one of those, how do you get experience if they won't hire you because you have no experience kind of thing? That applies to a lot of jobs, I know. But I was really hoping to just get my foot in with this one. And Scott put me in touch with the right people and they took a chance on me, yeah.
When you made your tweet when the Twitch Rivals like hit players got announced on the website, when you made your tweet saying that you were playing in it, you mentioned how you mentioned live actually, I believe, that you were meant to originally be on a team. Did that apply when you made your tweet, or did that change after you made it?
So initially when I reached out to Scott, I was like, hi, a little birdie told me that there's an MCC happening in Rotterdam. I was not meant to know yet. So he definitely was like, how do you know this?
No.
But he was like, but I hear you. I will keep you in mind. So I asked to play and I asked to cast at the same time. I was like, either position available, I would take either of them. And pretty soon after he confirmed me as a player, I didn't know my team yet, but he was like, you can play, you're in. And I was like, that's great. I will accept on the premise that, like, if further down the line a casting position comes available, I will have to drop playing and cast instead. Like, that is my priority. And he was like, completely understand. I'll have like a substitute on standby if that does happen. And just the nature of how things work behind the scenes, Scott is very on the ball. He knows who's playing pretty early on. But Twitch, they did not know who was casting until 3 weeks before the event. Okay. So that was like a solid like 2 months where I knew I was playing. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks before the event, I'm told that there's a casting position available. So I'm no longer a player and I'm a caster instead. So yeah, for a long time, I was a player. I even knew my team. I got my jersey ordered with my name on it and everything. They had gone through all of the process of me being a player. I'd already checked the box that said I will bring my own mouse to the event. Like, I was fully ready to play. And then they were like, surprise, casting role available. We want you to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm a caster now.
So could you have said no to that though? Like, if you'd been like, actually, I want to play, which I know wasn't your priority, but could you have said no?
Yeah, for sure. They would have just asked someone else to cast it instead. They'll have a short list of people that they had in mind for it.
So just from previous experience of talking to people, I'm not going to big up my ego here, but I've become quite good at making predictions or just assuming stuff. So I remember when I was on to Cara, I believe, I said, like, if there's a TwitchCon, MCC Twitch Rivals Live in Rotterdam, would you cast it? And this was on their podcast, it's public. And they said that, like, you know, because Twitch pay you, it's a lot easier, and they probably wouldn't end up going to Rotterdam unless like that happened, because obviously it's quite expensive going from America to Europe, vice versa. So when they eventually got announced as a player, I was like, I know they're casting, and then I saw them on the playlist, so then I edited my message to them and I went, or if you're a player, fair play also. I just messaged them, right, just saying, oh, like, it's really cool because we talked about it. And then I was in like there's like this Discord that I'm in, and I was talking, I was like, okay, so Kara's a caster, then Ian Chambers will most likely be the head caster. Who is going to be the other person? Tubbo's a confirmed player. You know, I doubt Feinberg's come in, and the only Corey Way's playing, and because I saw them on your name on the playlist as well as others, I thought, oh, they're on there, so they're not going to be casters. So then when you got announced, I was like, oh crap, like, this is first time, and it's live, and it's like this, which was, you know, it's just funny that you're the only person I just couldn't predict, I guess.
There were so many theories on the MCC subreddit of, like, because people were so confused that we were all just lumped under participants, including Ian Chambers, including Veracity, including Kara. So they didn't know who was a player, who was a caster. And as you said, people started making predictions and theories. And I think Ollie Heike Hate Me was added at the same time as Kara. So people were getting really confused because they didn't think that Ollie would be a caster, but got added at the same time as other casters. And because I had been on the player list for so long, they never would have expected one of the players to suddenly switch, because why would you? It's just that's how Twitch works. They just do it last minute, and not a single person predicted it correctly, which was very funny. There was lots of theories, but no one got it right.
But I mean, like, you also got a bit on, like, why would you predict someone who has no prior experience? Like you said, how are you meant to get experience if you can't get experience? But then why would anyone predict that? Like, no one's gonna tell them, like, oh yeah, because I mean, had you publicly said that you were interested in, like, casting something in the future, like, at any point?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah,
no,
so
only my viewers of like my Twitch channel know that I've talked about that there before. A lot of people predicted JoJo because JoJo's been doing a lot of casting for Twitch Rivals recently. She was one of the people that got reached out to this year, similar to me, but she's actually got a lot of the jobs under her belt, and people were predicting her, but she had also been talking about playing a lot on stream, so I was very conflicted, and yeah, no one got it right, which I'm not surprised because, as you said, publicly I have not said anything about casting. It's just my own personal Twitch chat that knew.
Well, I mean, like I said, not to big up your ego here, but I do think you did a very good job considering it was first time, and
I do appreciate it.
What about the future then with casting opportunities? Is there anything in the works right now? Is there hopes for something? Is there anything you can say?
What date does this come out?
This podcast comes out on the 26th, next Friday from recording.
Okay, so yeah, we're recording this on the 15th right now. I did actually just get an email a couple days ago. It's not confirmed yet, so I won't say too much, but I got an email a couple days ago asking me to cast something coming up soon, and I haven't signed anything yet, but if all goes to plan, nothing else changes, we'll be seeing me cast something very soon, and I am so excited for it.
Ooh.
It's all exclusive for you, yeah.
So it'd be after, if it whatever it is, it'd be after this podcast comes out.
Yeah, it'll be after this, but in the near future, yeah.
I'm excited to see it. Okay. So I mean, I don't know what it is, but like for clearance here, I haven't been told anything. I'm genuinely shocked at this, but you know, it could be anything. Maybe you're casting the next Block Wars or the Pandora's Box.
Yeah, instead of playing, I'll be a caster for the Block Wars. I'd love that. I love Block Wars a lot. I hope that they continue to grow and get sponsors and stuff and are able to do similar things to MCC. I think that would be so sick.
You've never played an MCC before, have you?
I have not, no.
So you had your one chance, and I respect it, honestly, you choosing to cast over it, because I feel like I would have done the same thing. I mentioned it to you before the stream, because we touched on the whole casting bit, that like I'm trying to kind of do it more. Not anything crazy, it's just more so I just go live on InsideMC and more away about tournaments, which I haven't got like the brain set, or I only have 2 monitors. I feel like I need a 3rd monitor so I can do like actual official graphics and stuff, but right now it's more so building experience of being able to cast as opposed to doing my own graphics for casting, because you never do, right? Like every single time you're going to cast for someone at Twitch Rivals, you don't manage the graphics or the way it looks, you just manage the talking, right?
That's a whole team production, you know, so the fact that you're doing that by yourself is very impressive.
Well, I mean, I'm more just changing between screens as I talk. That's
yeah.
That's literally it. But you know, I'm trying to grow my whole talking thing, and like, but you're going the route of, I mean, if are you going to take like any chances to get thrown at you? If someone turns around and goes, yo, would you love to cast this? And maybe it's not Twitch Rivals, but maybe it's like MCSR ranked, just off the top of my head, because that's quite high production. Would you say yes to something like that?
Honestly, if it's something that I find is interesting, I 100% would. I don't even have to be an expert on it. Like, luckily, I know quite a lot about MCC just from being close in the scene and having friends that take part. And I had friends that worked at Nox Crew, so like I've got very good like inside information and knowledge on the games and stuff. So thankfully, it was a perfect combination for me. But I would honestly be so down after casting in Rotterdam. I felt so comfortable on stage and I felt so at home that I would honestly be so down to be offered a casting job in a game that I've never even played before. And I would instantly spend like the next 2 months researching the game, researching the competitive scene, researching everything. Like I would get very, very into it. I'm someone that once I'm like locked on something, I will spend hours and hours and hours every single day looking into it.
When it came to like being up on stage and stuff, I'm assuming you were nervous beforehand. Like you had to have been, right?
Honestly, the rehearsal the day before, no, we had a rehearsal on the Friday and then the event took place on the Sunday. I was more nervous for rehearsal than I was the actual event. I don't know why. I was expecting to be nervous. I was nervous about being nervous for weeks leading up to it. I was like, I wonder what I'm going to be like on stage. Like, am I going to voice crack for the first time in 10 years? Am I going to, forget my words? Am I going to spill a drink over me? Like, I was so in my head about what I'm maybe going to feel. But when it came to the day, I was so comfortable. I hope that came through on camera and in person and stuff, yeah. But I felt so at home. And I know that, people say you're a streamer. You're used to talking to hundreds of people at once or thousands of people at once. But it's very different when they're in front of you in person. And I've heard that story be told so many times before. So I was nervous. I was like, I've never done anything like this before. So I'm not going to know until the day. But truly, I just felt so comfortable, like I was at home on my PC. And it wasn't like I was blind to the crowd. I was looking at the crowd. I was looking at people's faces. I wasn't ignoring them or like, using any techniques to kind of calm your mind. Like, oh, imagine everyone's, in their underwear kind of thing. People say for speeches to like calm the nerves. I was taking it all in. Like I was hyping the crowd up. I was like feeding off the energy, if anything. Like it was so much fun.
Sorry, I know I've got so many questions to ask about this. It's just so intriguing. So we're going to talk about this for a little bit longer. Apologies.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can say about this specifically, but when it came to rehearsals, what was that like? Like, what was anything? I don't really know how to explain what I want to say here with the rehearsals. Like, how did that go? Because I'm assuming the players weren't there, so how does that even work?
Yeah, so there were actually 2 days of rehearsal, and I missed the first one. I wasn't told about the first one, and I was starting to panic, right? Because there was a rehearsal on Thursday specifically for Buildmart IRL, which was a in real life game. If you guys haven't seen the MCC that took place in Rotterdam, it was Buildmart like this in MCC normally, but played physically by the players. And that took a whole day of rehearsals to make sure that things didn't go wrong. And I just wasn't told about it. So I was still in England when that rehearsal was happening. I contacted my contact and I was like, hey, I know that Kara is there because she's my friend and we were just talking. I meant to be there right now because I am at home right now. Like, am I, what's going on here? No, oh no, it's fine. We know you're not here today. Like, we'll just bring you up to speed tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did miss the first day of rehearsals, which was just Buildmart. Second day was on the Friday, and it was kind of just meeting the whole team, which were incredibly friendly. They were very, very good at their job. Like, they made me feel so comfortable immediately. Like I said, I was quite nervous for the rehearsal, but I instantly felt fine around them. Getting mic'd up, the earpiece in, practicing talking into the microphone while someone's talking into your ear is a skill that I did not have before, but had to work on. And then, they had 40 people, like volunteers. It was some of the MCC testers, and then some just like Twitch Rivals staff were sat at the desks. And they played through an entire MCC. They played through all 6 games, excluding Buildmart, actually. And we kind of just did a dry run. And most of it was me and Kara just sat talking with Ian as well, just making small talk. Sometimes we'd like attention to the game and do a little bit of live shoutcasting as a little practice, but it was mostly testing if the games worked, testing that all the transitions worked, testing just run of show. Like, hey, we're going to go from the top. Let's roll out the red rabbits. And we had people walk onto the stage and pretend that they were the red rabbits waving at the imaginary audience and all this thing. We're just doing a dry run basically of the entire thing.
Wow, I've always wondered, because I thought like, do they get people to play it? And how do you practice casting if there's no one actually playing the game? So they play a rerun of like normal MCC. But there you go.
They had 40 people playing. It was actually really funny because one of the people that was playing as quote unquote Sandwich Lord, like they had the player names in there. There was Sandwich Lord there was JoJo Solos, there was Fruitberries, but it was like all MCC testers and staff, and it was quite an even split. I want to say like 20 MCC testers maybe that knew how to play the games and were really good, and then 20 people who have never played Minecraft before. So Hole in the Wall comes on and the first wall slowly approaches and like half the lobby is wiped out by the first wall. It was so funny to watch because something you've never seen in MCC normally.
You never know. It could happen. Everyone could lag off.
Yeah, if they do like a rookies or an underdogs or something like that, yeah.
I think it ran really smoothly. And hopefully there's okay, right. I don't obviously get into funds. I'm just curious here. If you don't cast MCC Twitch Rivals, like if there's one in America, are you still planning on going to that TwitchCon anyways?
So yeah, similar to Kara's take on this, without being paid by Twitch to fly out, hotels covered, and a casting fee, there is like 0.1% chance I can go to San Diego. It's just too expensive to travel across the Atlantic like that. I used to go to America 3 times a year. Back when streaming was doing well, I was in America so often and I could afford to do all of these things. But as I said earlier, stream is not what it used to be, and I cannot afford to go to those big Twitch cons anymore, unfortunately, unless I'm being paid to do so. Fingers crossed.
Well, if you see Jvckk on the lineup, then we know what they're doing.
Yeah, I got a nice deal come my way.
MCC is not the only like tournament you've been to. We touched on it earlier. Block Wars. You've played in a decent amount of Block Wars. Actually, every single one bar season 5 after the split. You won you won the last one before it ended. Your team came second, and you won 3-0 on the new shooty game.
Yeah, we sweeped on that. It was a brand new final. I forget what they call it now, but it was the first time that final had been implemented, and we sweeped Feinberg's team. I was so happy with that.
It's called a Ground Wars on Bedrock Edition. It's like a server. It's typically called Ground Wars, or like there's another name for it. But yeah, it's just like red first blue. The more you shoot people, the more they die, the more area you gain. That's basic terms. What's it about like Block Wars you like so much? You've played in a lot and you keep constantly getting in, and obviously with the return, you probably don't even know yet if you've got an ink. It's still decent away from when recording this, but what is it about like Minecraft events as a whole, I guess, that interests you so much?
Yeah, I do think that the events are actually my favorite part of Minecraft at the moment. I don't play a lot of Minecraft. I don't stream a lot of Minecraft. It is mostly just events, and I think that it's just because it's a free way to play with friends, and I think that the games are incredibly fun. My favorite games are always team games. So Block Wars has like Order Up, MCC has Grid Runners, Railroad Rush. Like those types of team games are personally my favorite. When it comes to some of the PvP games, I'm more inclined to skip those or play them early kind of thing. That's not my style. And there's a lot of other Minecraft events that have different skill ceilings, and or average skill player is a lot higher in other events, and it's a lot more like PvP games. So those are the events that I stick away from personally. I think Block Wars does a good job of making it more for fun and less sweaty, and definitely what draws me in. Yeah.
Do you have any, kind of linking back to every topic I've had, do you have any favorite event moments?
Favorite event moments?
Can't say casting. We've already talked about that loads. Don't bring it back.
Yeah. Well, now I'm thinking Block Wars. So I think winning was obviously a great moment. I was on a team with Ibup, Amp, Frost, Line Chew, and I want to say H-Bomb.
Yep.
Is that right? Is that my team?
Correct, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, it was originally going to be Tubbo. Tubbo had to bail, and we had an H-Bomb sub, which honestly, maybe a little bit unfair, and maybe that's why we ended up winning the event. But
well, you came
that was such a fun team to be on. Yeah, Feinberg's team were just too good, and then we somehow, sweeped them in the final. I don't know if I'll ever be winning an event ever again, so that's got to be up there as a favorite moment. I think another one will be, I can't remember which event it was, but I convinced Lizzie and Joel to come play with us once.
That was the one before.
LD Shuttle Lady and Smallish Beans. Was that the one before, was it?
Yeah, literally the event before. Blocky Bells, it was the Christmas one.
Yeah, Christmas one, that's what it was. I remember it being some kind of like special one, and my team was me, Jojo, Scott's Major, Joel Smallish Beans, and Lizzie, LD Shuttle Lady. And that was a lot of fun. I want to say that was the one when we were doing a drinking game for it too. So like no pressure on kind of thing. It was purely for fun. There's some alcohol involved and just have a good time. It was a lot of fun, that one.
And then, being in the scene for so long, did you ever play in like Minecraft Mondays, Minecraft Saturdays? I tried looking, but I couldn't find anything on like older like tournaments.
No, honestly, I took a break from Minecraft. I know I had like quite an early start in 2012, 2013, that kind of era, but I did take a massive break. And even the beginning of MCC, like I was kind of still on a break from Minecraft. I think that I might have been able to weasel my way into the first MCC, to be honest with you. But I was on a break, and then I want to say 2021 was when I was first kind of coming back to Minecraft and starting to play it again myself.
How did it feel getting rejected from MCC Rising 2?
MCC Rising 2, the application that me, Bitsify, Jojo Solita, and LD, what did we call her?
LD Bright Lady.
LD Bright Lady, yes, of course. Yeah, we were really gutted to not get in. We tried really hard on our application. For anyone that hasn't seen the application, me, Jojo Solos, who is an MCC player, LD Shadow Lady, who is an MCC player, and our friend Mitsify all made like a kind of joke application. Like we had to disguise Jojo and Lizzie as different people so that they weren't MCC players. It was just a goof around, and it was honestly a lot of fun. I think that more people need to take those applications a little more lighthearted, and I don't know, it was just a perfect opportunity to make a little joke on the occasion, I think.
Did you know that you weren't originally meant to be on that team?
Which team? What do you mean?
That application. Was it you who wasn't meant to be on? I know someone, because Shane was meant to be on it, I believe.
Oh, no. So Shane, we had mentioned the idea to Shane, and I want to say Lizzie replaced Shane.
Oh, okay.
Because
sorry. Apologies.
we had just spent like a whole month together in Europe. Mitsify and Jojo had come to visit Europe, and we had talked about it there. We had made like small talk about it, and then we had mentioned it in Shane's chat at one point. I don't think it was ever like set in stone for Shane to be in it. Then we also mentioned it to Lizzie at the same time, and she was really down for it. We originally were going to film the application, like an in-person one, when we were all in Europe, but didn't get around to it and just did it later online instead.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I thought it was you. Apologies.
No, it's all good. Yeah, Shane was upset about that one. That would have been, let's see, if I had done it with Shane, Jojo, and Lizzie, 3 MCC participants, that would have been extra funny. But I think that Marissa Mitsify, she honestly carried the most of that video. She was the one that edited it and everything. So it was a good group of 4 in the end.
You also do TikTok, not so like consistent anymore, but you went for a phase of doing like the daily connections, and I believe on like your YouTube channel you also did like reaction videos for a good amount of time. And they're your most recent videos.
I mentioned earlier that I do like to get into things for a little while and then completely abandon them. And the daily connections on TikTok was a trend for a while. And as you said, I was doing some React stuff on YouTube. I thought that was fun to try out because it's just such free content. But those didn't last too long.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
When is the new Minecraft game worth buying, Minecraft Legends? I watched that when it released, because I have this thing. Remember how I said I didn't really know you until recently? I have this thing where I watch videos but don't always pay attention to the channel.
Me too.
One of my content creator friends at the time, Potato Pie, he's still one of my friends, but he doesn't really do content as much anymore. I should make that very clear. But he uploaded a video about Minecraft Legends, so I was like on the edge of like making one as well. But then I ended up realizing I don't want to pay £40 for the game to make a video that would probably get like 1,000 views. I was like, never mind. Now, not to say it's a bad thing to actually, no, it was a bad thing to spend £40 a game. I'm sorry if you did, but I think I can't remember though. Did you agree, or like what was your review of the game?
Yeah, so Minecraft Legends I had seen advertised for a little while. Then I got an email offering me a game code for it, and they were like, feel free to make a video if you want to. This is the embargo for when you can. And initially I wasn't going to. I just asked my friend Jojo if she also got the same email, and she said that she did. So we were like, let's play it off stream together and just see what it's like. And then I decided to record the session because I was like, there's a chance that I make a video out of this. I didn't really plan to, but I recorded the session and I was like, I had fun with it. And I'd been watching videos more and more recently, and I really liked the style of like voiceover, which isn't really a style, I guess. It's a very common thing, but I hadn't done one of those videos before. So I was like, I want to try this out. I want to see how good I am at it. I'll write like a little short script and talk about the game and just do something different. I've never made a video like this before. I'm going to try it with Legends, and I had quite a good time making it. I think the video did okay-ish, considering it was the first of its kind on my channel. I think the Legends was cool. Me and Jojo played it a couple times after, so that's a good sign, I guess, but I have not played it since then. I thought it was interesting. I like the Minecraft IP. I think it's cool that they try to do more with it than just the Minecraft game. I think the Minecraft movie should be really interesting. Yeah, it's just kind of, I like Minecraft. I'm gonna see what they're doing.
I think my bad review or like bad feelings of it comes from the fact that it's kind of unplayable. There was no communication, there was no chat, there was no way to communicate with your teammates, and I think it's just from the POV I watched probably put me off, as opposed to you who kind of had first-hand experience playing the game. And if you played it with friends, I think it's a lot easier to kind of enjoy it more as opposed to from watching it.
Yeah, to be fair, I only play games with friends really, so Among Us. I've never played a public lobby of Among Us before. So my experience of how fun Among Us is very different to how fun Among Us is to someone who's just playing public lobbies on their own. And similar with Minecraft Legends, I didn't have to worry about no communications because I was in a Discord call with my friends. But, I can imagine that it's a very different experience playing just in silence with no comms with your team. I can imagine that's a much less enjoyable game, to be fair.
With that, then I feel like we've done a pretty good job of covering everything. Is there anything I missed, or have we done a good job?
I think we hit all the notes that we planned to.
It's not over just yet, though. Do have some Twitter questions.
Oh, of course.
I used to look through the Twitter questions and have them pre-planned, but now I don't. So I'm hoping we have Twitter questions. I do. We do. Okay, here we go. We have quite a few from Soup for Eloise, and by a few I mean we have 3. So the first one here, and I was gonna ask this one, but I wanted to save it. It's from Soup for Eloise. What was the best thing about casting a live MCC?
Ooh, okay. I think just feeding off of the crowd's energy live. It was such an unbelievable crowd. If the crowd was like dead and like half empty, I think the job would have been so much harder than it was. The crowd really did carry, and I was able to just feed off of it. Like they hyped me up, I hyped them up. Like it was such a great feeling. Also, I think just seeing all of my friends pop off on stage, like I'm not, this is a humble flex. I'm friends with so many of the people that were on that stage that day, and like seeing all of them get to just like perform on stage and be happy just made me so happy as well.
That was a football game-esque crowd, by the way. Like they were screaming at every bro. If somebody dropped a sword, people were screaming. Like it was crazy, including myself, of course.
Yeah, I've been to esports events. Like we didn't talk about it in this podcast, but I have had my share of Counter-Strike events that I've been to live, and those have got thousands and thousands and thousands of attendees. We're filling stadiums to watch watch Counter-Strike. And I felt like the few hundred, I don't actually know what the capacity of Twitch Rivals was there, but the few hundred that we had there were like fully as loud at some times. It was unbelievable.
There was well over like 11 people at least.
I'd say at least, yeah.
We were sat pretty close to the casters. I got lucky to be in the VIP section. We were invited to be in it. And
nice.
But obviously Twitch kind of messed up a little bit with the whole seating, so we were one of the lucky ones who actually got to sit there. So we were quite close to.
Those stands filled out so early on. Like we're talking 30 minutes before we're even going live, and there is not an empty seat in the house. Like it was wild.
Because we actually met at the after party as well. I was meant to bring it up, but I forgot because I saw you. I was like, "Hi, I'm
yes.
Orbit." And he was like, "Hi." I was like, "Well done." That was it. I think that was like,
we had a little gathering after MCC. There was a little mini golf place. There was arts and stuff. It was a good time. Yeah.
And the next one then comes from Super Louise. What is Jvck's favorite color?
Wow. What a question. I'd say the part of my branding is this kind of sunburn orange, I'll call it. It's the hex code that's in my profile picture. It's all over my Twitch alerts and all that stuff. It's kind of this muted, more orange, this little darker, and I'd say that's my favorite color, yeah.
And then they also asked, who is your best friend?
Who's my best friend? Ooh, I think she's asking that for a very specific reason. I would say that Soup for Eloise is most definitely my closest friend that I have. Eloise recently moved to the same city that I live in, Sheffield, and I see Eloise for coffee multiple times a week. Like we were hanging out watching the football last night. I see Eloise very, very often.
Oh, cool. That's actually brilliant. That's pretty sweet. And you met online. Crazy, right?
Yeah, she would just come into my Twitch streams back in the day because I stream quite late at night for the UK viewer base. I definitely have more of a NA audience, and she happened to work on like videos and stuff at the same time, and she wanted a Twitch stream to lurk in. I think she recognized my name from somewhere and became like, you know, an avid Jvckk viewer, and we just became friends off the back of that.
So basically they were your biggest fan and now you're friends.
Yeah. You know, tier 3, the whole shebang, yeah.
The next one then comes from someone different, from the green hair. I hope I've said that last word right. I think I have. If you was in an MCC team, I'm just going to read it the way they wrote it. If he was in an MCC team, who would be his ideal teammates?
My ideal teammates for MCC. There's a lot of predictions that happen on the MCC subreddit. I like to read it a lot, and I get put in teams a decent amount. If you guys are listening right now, put me in more teams. I like to see myself on the MCC subreddit. It fuels my ego. I get put with JoJo almost exclusively, like almost every single time. Me and JoJo have been quite a duo for a good couple years now. I think that we have good chemistry. We hang out a lot off stream as well as on stream, so I think that makes sense. So I would almost definitely be put with JoJo. And outside of that, I'd instantly have to be balanced because JoJo is an S tier, and I'm never going to get an S tier teammate other than JoJo. I would say, honestly, the team I got put with for MCC before I became a caster was an amazing team. I had me, JoJo Solos, Scott Smaja, and Shovel. And like, I love all three of those people so much. I truly think that is a very viable team that could happen in a future MCC if I'm ever playing in a normal one. And where would we finish? Honestly, I think that's quite a good team. I think that I would be the dead weight for sure, but I think that we'd finish like a solid 4th, a respectable 4th.
Didn't even let me ask it. You pulled up the question yourself and answered it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did. I did snipe the question. I was double checking the name because you are unsure on it. About the green hair.
Yeah, there we go. And then the final one then comes from Charlie. And if you want to say tournaments, if it's a reuse of an answer, that's completely fine. What is your favorite aspect of Minecraft?
Oh, yeah. I did mention earlier that if I'm playing or streaming Minecraft, it probably is an event of some kind, a Block Wars or something like that. So I'd probably say that. But if I'll give it a little extra, I think that I've spent the most time building in Minecraft, probably. I don't think I'm very good, but I think that building is very, very cool. If I'm watching Minecraft content, it's probably because they have got good building skills. Shout out Snifferish, shout out Smallish Beans. I think that those two make very, very good builds.
There you go. That's it for the Twitter questions then. That sadly brings the end of this week's InsideMC. Jvckk, an amazing talking to you, so thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Before I do the outro here though, I always like to give the opportunity for you to promote yourself. If somehow people don't know where to find you, where can they?
I'd say primarily on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jvckk. I have the username Jvckk on basically everything. Other than that Minecraft account, basically Jvckk everywhere. TikTok, stream on Twitch, YouTube. And join my Discord too. I like to try and grow my Discord. I think that people underutilize Discord servers. So discord.gg/Jvckk.
There you go. And if you want to know how to spell it, the name will be in the title, and their YouTube and Twitch will be linked in the description if you're listening on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, just the name in the title, you can search it there. So with that being said then, thank you again so much. And this has been Inside MC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Peaces.